The privatization of previously publicly held firms is an interesting phenomenon. Most of us, over the last 20 or 30 years, have thought about public markets as something that just is and will always be. And many of our theories in finance and economics depend on this kind of public market and the public information that's forced by being public. Well, the pendulum may have swung so far in terms of how much information is needed and all the things that go with it, like the potential for lawsuits, all of this observation and transparency that's required. And it's different in different countries. And so there are reasons in different countries to think about going private here, going public in a different place, that kind of thing. And so I think that this wave of privatization, of course, has changed the way people look at the balance between public and private. I still think the public markets are vastly dominant. When you look at all the money that's controlled, it's vastly in the public sector, although there's been some big private deals. The big question is it so onerous to be public now in America and some parts of Europe that really is becoming a detriment to be public. Before, you went public to get your hands on public finance, vast pools of investments. Now, because of all the regulations and other things, and lately the cheap money that was available to finance this through banks and other loans, it was starting to be, it looked like these private equity firms could take almost anybody private with equity and loans. It looks like, because of a lot of things that's going on in the market today in August of 2007, at least it looks right now that the credit is going to tighten, and maybe the really big deals won't be able to be made the way they were before. But that may be temporary too. We don't know. It's just, you know, this whole market response to this, a subprime crisis, those things are fairly recent. We don't know how it's going to play out. I think that we're going to have a blend of private and public markets, and I think it's very healthy. There's no doubt when you're running a company nowadays, in the last few years, you are concerned about your cash positions, how efficient you're being, how creative you're being, and what kind of returns you're giving the stockholders, because you know that if that's out of balance, there are these private equity organizations that will organize a privatization plan for you, and that may mean that you lose your job, or your friends, or they reorganize the company, and things that CEOs won't necessarily like. And so it does keep people on their toes. I think it's a perfectly reasonable thing for a capitalistic market to have. I think a healthy private equity section of the market keeps everybody thinking about efficiencies and returns to the stockholders.